Hey guys, Kyle from purehockey.com here. I'm here today with Devils goalie Cory Schneider. Cory, we got all your gear here, so we'll talk first about your blocker. Now, is there anything different that you do, or is it just kind of pretty stock?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty stock blocker. I haven't had a whole lot of changes to it. It's the Extreme Flex Pro CCM model. So I've always liked these ones because I find them to be a little sturdier and bulkier. I do a lot where I'm bringing my hands in tight to sort of seal off that area, and I find these, with all the protection they have here and in the fingers and thumb, that I'm actually able to present it this way and see all the puck marks there, and not get injured, A, and B, create a good seal against my body. And another thing I've always liked is the cuff here. I like to kind of, be able to present the blocker, and I think having the cuff allows your hand angle to get the blocker out a little bit more. So yeah, I've been using this now for I think 4 or 5 years, so this has been a pretty consistent one for me.
And then the glove. Now for blockers and gloves, do you go through about the same amount every season? Do more gloves, more blockers, or?
Yeah, more the more I play. My max I think is 45 games, so that's kind of my highest total. But I do go through gloves pretty regularly. I mean, maybe every 10 games or so that I play, not during the year. So I probably went through 5 or 6 sets of gloves. Sometimes I'll get a practice glove, which is has a double palm, and you're only using it in practice because guys shoot it pretty hard and you don't want to break your hand or it gets pretty sore. So the practice glove, and then I save the game gloves for just obviously just the game. So it makes them last a little bit longer. But as I've got older and played more, I really like the feeling of the new gloves just because they feel stiffer and a little bit, like I said, sturdier. As they tend to break down, they can kind of wobble on you, and that can be the difference between a puck going in or not. So this is a glove that, again, I think the same as the blocker, the EX Extreme Flex Pro, and the one thing I guess I have customized on this one is I have a buckle in here, so it's almost like a pad buckle that I like to cinch it down on my wrist with, so that way.
So as opposed to like a Velcro type.
Exactly. So once it's down there, it's on for the period. Because I know some guys, they'll have the the nylon one where you have to keep restrapping because it might loosen up on you. So this is something I actually picked up from Curtis Sanford. He's a goalie. I don't know if people remember him, but we played together in minors, and I saw him have that, and I actually really liked it. So I sort of incorporated that, and it's funny how guys you play with, you sort of pick little things up like that from them, and make it your own a little bit. So, but yeah, I like the action on this glove. I like how it sort of curves up here, and again, with this I do a lot of blocking, so the seal I find is pretty good. And the thing I like the most about it, again, is the cuff here, where it's sort of separated from the the board, so you're able to really present that glove. I think the only issue I have with other gloves is they tend to be stapled down to the board, so it almost feels like my hand is closed.
Or you're putting your hand in a really odd position to get it open.
Yeah, you really have to focus. So this one I like because it just naturally I find presents itself. So again, I've been using this one for 4 or 5 years now, and I've been very happy with it. So those are the gloves, and onto the Vaughn Pads. I have a little bit of everything in terms of gear, as you can see.
Yep.
This is the new V6, or from what I'm told, from Vaughan. I often just kind of have them make whatever I'm used to, and I'm not really always aware of what model it is, but this model is actually very different. It's a lot lighter. I think they told me they switched from their normal plastic and foam to like a lighter foam and carbon fiber. Mm-hmm. So it's it takes a lot of weight off, and it's supposed to allow it to stay, I think, retain its shape longer. It doesn't break down as quickly. So that was a big plus for me. I don't think I've done too much crazy stuff to these. The leg channel is a little bit wider than I'm used to. Normally I've had it in tight here, so it's a little bit wider leg channel, and I still like the old school buckles and strappings, and a lot of guys are going to the just the straight Velcro. But I kind of like the feeling of the straps on, and one thing I have done is I've put the weave on the inside and then the leather on the outside, because I find the weave just slides a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little more consistent slide, but I found the leather, I think, holds up a little bit longer for me personally, but that could be a mental, goalie mentality thing, so who knows if it really works or not.
Now, as far as strapping the pad up, do you go, is there anything you do in particular, tight on certain straps, looser on others, or? Yeah,
I'm generally tight down low, so up here, I'll keep them pretty loose, so you don't want them too tight up here. But when it comes to these guys, I'll definitely start to cinch them down a little bit. I don't like a whole lot of rotation on my pad unless my leg is sort of dictating where it goes. Mm-hmm. I don't like the pad hanging off, so my leg moves first and then the pad kind of follows. I like to be pretty uptight against my gear and have whenever I make a movement, that the pad responds accordingly. So I've always been a pretty tight strapper all the way around. So I think again that's sort of why I've liked Vaughn, is because it has that tight leg channel, and it keeps you close to the movement of the pads. And I've been using Vaughn since I was growing up playing hockey, and I've been pretty happy with what I've gotten. And the only other thing on these ones too is I usually have a second brake up here. So this one's kind of the one brake, which I'm sort of playing around with, and it seems to keep it a little more upright and rigid. So I think as they break in, they'll stay a little bit taller than usual.
Now, how many sets of pads do you usually go through in a year?
Yeah, again, it sort of depends on how much you play, but I want to say I went through probably 4 sets last year. So again, if hopefully I'll be playing more games this year, and we'll see how it goes. But you sort of tend to know. I mean, there's that adjustment period where you got to break them in, which might take a week or two, and then there's a really sweet spot where they're in a good spot in terms of rigidity and how they feel for about a month to 6 weeks, and then they start to break down, and if they get wet or when you travel with them, they get a little bit softer, and you can sort of feel that, and that's when you sort of know it's time to get into a new set. So again, we're pretty lucky that we can kind of get gear whenever we want. I know not everyone's that lucky, but I think you learn to know what you want and how it feels, and you just got to get into that routine of knowing when to get into new stuff.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Cory. Guys, check out the Pure Hockey YouTube page for more Gear Talk with the Pros videos. Thanks.